Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. Let's continue where we left. We did Wallahu ya'lamu innaka la rasuluhu. So let's move on. Let's see what we have next. So Wallahu yashhadu innal munafiqina laqazibun. So let's focus on this part now. Right? So as we do more and more, things inshallah should become easier for you. You should start to see repeated things that are coming inshallah in the ayahs. So let's start inshallah. So again, we encountered the word wow. Now I'm going to think the same way. If this wow was a harf of jar wow, I would have seen the word Allahu as the word Allahi in a majroor case. So I'm not going to mark this as a harf of jar wow. I'm going to mark this as a connector wow. So which, by the way, in Arabic is called ataf. Right? So this is an ataf. This is a connector wow. Now it connects the previous idea with this new idea that is going to happen. So just like the last time, I have the word Allahu, which is proper rafa. This is rafa. This is singular, masculine, proper. And it is clearly a potential mubtada for me. So I'm going to mark the word Allah as a mubtada. Now, whenever I encounter mubtada, I'm looking for a khabar. So again, I go out and look for the khabar. And instead of the khabar, what am I finding here? So I'm finding a fi'l which is starting with a ya and ending with a u. Just like the previous case. In the previous case, we had Wallahu ya'lamu, and in this case, we have Wallahu yashhadu. So it's the same scenario, but the different fi'l. So I started with the Jumla Ismiya, and I'm now looking at the Jumla Fi'liya. So I have spotted a fi'l, which is a present tense fi'l, and I have also spotted its fa'il, because every fi'l comes with a fa'il inside it. Because it's a ya beginning and u ending, I'm going to mark this fa'il as huwa. There is an inside huwa on this fa'il. So remember, whenever we have an inside pronoun as huwa or hiya, there is a chance that you might find an outside fa'il, an outside doer. Right? So we are going to spot that if it is there. So I will go one by one. So far, we now know that we started the first bracket, which was the word Allahu, started the first jumla, ismiya, and then when we looked for the khabar, we started another jumla fi'liya. This is another nested structure. Instead of khabar, we have found the jumla fi'liya. So first, we now have to solve the jumla fi'liya, right? Now this jumla fi'liya, of course, the components of jumla fi'liya are fi'l, fa'il, maf'ul, and muta'alliq bil fi'l. So we have found the two, and now we're looking for either the maf'ul or muta'alliq bil fi'l. So let's move on and see what do we find. So when we move on to the next word, what we found is the word inna. Now think about what inna is. You have learned harf of nasabs, and inna is one of that harf of nasab. Okay, I was expecting a maf'ul or a muta'alliq bil fi'l, right? But I encountered an inna. Now inna is a harf that comes on an ism. Now if you see the word right after it, I'm looking at a word that has an al. I'm also looking at the word that has an ina ending. So this is telling me that this is potentially coming from a masculine Muslim chart. It's like Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina, right? It's like Munafiqun, Munafiqan, Munafiqin, Munafiqani, Munafiqaini, Munafiqaini, Munafiquna, Munafiqina, Munafiqina. So I know this is either nasab or jar. I know that this is nasab or jar, one of these two. And I know that this is plural, which is three or more. I know this is masculine, and I know this is proper. Well, how do I know? Because it has an al. It's proper. Okay? Now, how do I understand? Is it nasab or is it jar? What should I tell? What should tell me that? The answer is very simple, and you probably know it. So the word before it, the context, the harf inna, you know it's a harf of nasab. Its job is to make the next ism nasab, not the next ism, its ism nasab. So whatever its ism is. So if you are looking at munafiqina and you're trying to find a reason why it is nasab, the only reason you would find is that it has inna before it. So this entire part is going to be a harf of nasab fragment, right? And we know from our experience and from our learning that whenever we spot a harf of nasab, we have to label it a mubtada. So here we go again. So we have another jumla ismiya starting. So this is another bracket, a nested sentence inside the yashhadu that we are looking at, right? Oops, so we slide up. Let me go down again. So yeah, so we have the third bracket, which we started with the word Allahu, and now we have with the yashhadu as well. Okay, so 3 brackets here. Now, first we now have to solve this bracket. So because this is a mubtada, it must have either a khabar or a muta'alliq bil khabar. So let's go ahead and see what we have. What we find is lakazibun. And lakazibun, I'm thinking, how many words are these? And from my understanding of the Arabic grammar and experience, it tells me that la could potentially be a harf. What type of harf? It could either be emphasis harf, or it could be a jar majrur. It could be a harf of jar lam. If it was a harf of jar lam, what would have happened to kazibun? The kazibun would not be marfu. This una tells me it is marfu, it's rafa. So it's telling me it's rafa, it's plural, it's masculine, and it's common. Okay? All the 4 properties that a khabar needs. Right? And while if it was a majroor, it would not be kazibuna, it would be kazibina. Right? So this lam is not really impacting anything. So it's an emphasis lam. This is clear to me now. Right? So because kazibuna is marfu, I'm going to mark it as a khabar of the mubtada al-Munafiqoon. So I have now first closed my jumla ismiya bracket. So this part is clear. From this point all the way to this point, this is one big jumla ismiya where you have a mubtada and where you have a khabar. It's an A-B structure, right? Which is a normal structure in jumla ismiya. Now, again, what were we expecting for yashhadu? We were expecting for yashhadu a maf'ul. Instead of a maf'ul, what we found? We found a full jumla ismiya. So we are going to mark this entire jumla ismiya just like before, maf'ul for the fi'l yashhadu. Right? So it is again going to be fi mahalli nasab. I'm not going to write it every time. Okay? So in the previous videos, we've written fi mahalli nasab, and you can go back and see. So it's maf'ul for the fi'l yashhadu. Okay? So the fi'l yashhadu itself has a fi'l, it has a fa'il, and it has a maf'ul. Now because it was huwa, there was a chance that it gets an outside fa'il. But did we find any ism that was marfu and after? Yeah, we did actually. This was la kazibun, right? Kazibun. But again, in what context kazibun was operating? Was it operating in the context of jumla fi'liya, which started with yashhadu? Or was it operating in the context of innal munafiqina, which was the jumla ismiya? Yeah, so the answer is the latter, right? So it's operating in the context of jumla ismiya. So I can't take one piece from jumla ismiya, just the khabar of jumla ismiya, and say, hey, this khabar is the outside fa'il of yashhadu. It doesn't work that way, right? So you're gonna blast out the grammatical rules out of it. So it's not gonna work that way. So you don't do that, okay? So we did not find any ism that could have been an outside fa'il. So that concludes the yashhadu. Right? And now, again, coming back to the word Allah was mubtada too. Now we need to sort out the word Allah, and of course, because it's a mubtada, it is expecting a khabar or a muta'alliq bil khabar, and we know that instead of a khabar, the word Allah encountered yashhadu, because the word Allah encountered yashhadu, and everything after it is part of jumla fi'liya. This entire bit is going to become khabar for the word Allah. Okay, so you have mubtada as a word Allah, and yashhadu innal munafiqina lakazibun as its khabar. Now, because this khabar came in place of a khabar, this entire jumla fi'liya came in place of the khabar, we are going to say khabar fi mahalli rafa, because khabar is a standard rafa. So if you have understood this, then you have also closed the third bracket, right? And that, mashallah, concludes our first ayah of the of Surah Munafiqoon. Let's quickly see if we can translate this so we can conclude this one, right? So let me do that here very quickly. Okay. So and Allah yashhadu, he testifies, right? What does he testifies? Innal munafiqina, indeed the hypocrites are, because there's an invisible is after innal munafiqina, it's a mubtada, right? La kazibun. And what is la? It's an emphasis lam, so you can use it as truly or surely. So let's say truly. Kazibun, 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 kaziban, kazibin, kazibani, kazibaini, kazibaini, kazibuna, kazibina, kazibina. Plural, masculine, rafa, common. Liars are truly liars. And Allah, he testifies, indeed the hypocrites are truly liars. Inshallah, I hope this was helpful. Inshallah, I will see you in the continuation of the next ayah. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.